Really happy for our guys. It's been obviously a hard month of February and a hard year. But their spirit yesterday, I felt a spirit in practice yesterday that was pretty good. As good as I've seen in a while. And then we went out and played that way today. We created a presence at the rim offensively and defensively early in the game that gave us confidence. And then A.J. Lawson, even though he didn't score in the first half, was phenomenal on his defense on Severe Wheeler. And the guys behind them then did their jobs too. I'm just really happy for our guys. They contrary to maybe popular belief sometimes, we've established a mindset of winning in our locker room. And it took a long time to build that. That wasn't there when I got here. And our guys believe that we should win. And when we don't, it really, really hurts them. And but we finished the month with a win, played pretty well. So we got to be positive and come back tomorrow, have a pretty good workout, and stay in a positive place as we move forward.
Joe?
Coach, you just touched on this, but what does it say about the resolve of this team? Because I think it could have been easy to say, you know what, we've lost 6 in a row, let's pack it up. But that clearly is not the case with your group, with the way they played today.
Yeah, Joe, that's why I was excited about this team this year and still am. I mean, it's not like we've thrown in the towel. It's been a hard year for everybody, not just us in basketball, for everybody. A lot of us have had personal ugliness, so it's made it hard for all of us, for our spirits to stay strong. And then, I'm not going to keep regurgitating what we went through in December and the first half of January. It is what it is. And then, we played we beat Florida, and we had 4 or 5 at home. But 4 of those 5 games were against 4 teams that are top 10 in the country defensively. And it just, we couldn't score. And then we lost our fight a little bit the last couple games. And that's what was disappointing to me, is that our fight, which is something that we just never do around here. And but like I said, the spirit was good yesterday. I felt it. The vibe was real good in the locker room before the game, and then the way we started the game. I mean, when's the last time we threw a ball in the post and scored? That's how we started the game. And that's, we can say, well, this, that. We all have something that we enjoy in what we do. I love watching guys post up and catch it and score. It makes me feel better. So it makes me, puts me in a better place as I'm coaching basketball. And that's the way we started. So it gave everyone confidence, man. We threw it to a guy that caught it and actually scored.
John Del Bianco?
Frank, given the way Trey Hannibal's week started, just how gratifying is it to see him get on the court and just have the type of game he did today? I think he matched a career high with points, set a career high with rebounds, and had a lot of steals as well.
Really proud of him, man. He's a really good kid. He's a really good player. This year's just been, I don't know how to explain it to you. And everybody wants to, react like he committed some crazy thing, and and Frank hates him, and it's the world we live in today, man. Sometimes letting somebody take a deep breath and catch their breath when they're going through a difficult moment and emotionally not being in a peaceful place is what you have to do. That's all I did. He wants to win. Trey's a really good kid, and like I said, he's a really good player. And what happened is he was really good defensively today. You didn't see him coming up with a lot of steals that he went after the ball. He came up with loose balls because he was in the right place. And then offensively, in the second half, we scored at the rim, and then offensively we made jump shots. So now it opens that paint up, and now he drives, and now he's really good at driving people. And he played strong, disciplined, and aggressive. So I'm really happy for him.
Michael, and then Colin.
Frank, I know you've talked all year about defense and needing to play more connected and more physical, and it seemed like today, might have been one of the better days for the Cuban pack line that you've been talking about. Just how did it look out there to you, and just is this closer to Frank Martin basketball in terms of just effort and what we saw out there today?
Yeah, like there's a play that we didn't come up with the ball. but we created a loose ball, and it was in the first half. First, I can't remember, but we fought and fought and fought and fought, and Justin goes airborne into their bench going after a ball. When's the last time we did that? You know, we hadn't done that in forever. That's the spirit I'm talking about. And then the other part of the game where I was really, where that defense that you're talking about showed its head and was so good for us, is they come out of the half and they're down, they're at home, and they're playing really well coming into this game, and they start scoring. And I think they cut it to 5, if I'm not mistaken. And after the year we've had, our guys might have hung their heads. They could have said, here we go again, man. But instead, man, we locked in defensively and came up with 4 consecutive steals that became 4 open court baskets and game. You know, not game, but you popped the game back open, and then we obviously protected that lead the rest of the way. So big part of what I believe in is defense and spirit. You got to have those 2 things. If not, I'm not at peace with what I'm doing. And we've showed it. This team had it last year. Unfortunately, this year, just the parts haven't worked as well sometimes, and for whatever reasons. And we did it today.
Colin?
Frank, 2 questions for you. Just how nice was it to finally see some fast break opportunities happen for you guys and your guys be able to get out and run in the open court like I know you guys like to do?
Yeah, absolutely, Carl. And it's because we've been practicing for a month now, and we get to work on some things that we didn't get to work on for 7 weeks. You know, and you know, I get the fact that some people look at this as a disappointing season. Man, are you kidding me? After what our team's been through, there's nothing disappointing about what we're doing. On the contrary, you know, anybody that watches these kids should be excited that in the middle of conference play, after not practicing for 7 weeks, that these kids continue to grow and find resolve. Look at Keyshawn Bryant. Keyshawn Bryant, this is why I coach. I don't coach for wins and losses. Never have, never will. Keyshawn Bryant used to not say a word. He's become our team leader in the last 2 weeks. His positivity, his voice, his guidance has given me a voice to follow now. And now all of a sudden, guess what? Other dudes are starting to play with that same kind of discipline and energy and positivity. So now I get to coach basketball rather than be a psychologist. And, you know, this is why I coach. I don't, you know, everyone thinks that coaching is about winning and losing games. No, that's what you guys judge me on. I don't worry about that. I worry about why I coach, which is to see guys grow as people.
And how validating was it to just see Jermaine have the game he had and impact you guys on both ends of the court?
Yeah, it's all Keyshawn. I mean, Keyshawn, they're boys. Those 2 guys are together all the time. Keyshawn's positivity, but challenging Jermaine has made him, you know, come off that injury and play better. I told you the other day, I think whoever we played last, Mississippi State, you know, Jermaine had just practiced one day, and after not practicing for 11 days, and he didn't play well. But Keyshawn, being who he is becoming, you know, listen, it used to be all Jermaine, and nobody really helped him from that standpoint, from a voice. And now all of a sudden he's seen somebody else do it. Every once in a while, man, it's good to have a teammate that kind of puts his arm around you and says, yo, man, you can take the day today. I got you. And now, you know, it builds that kind of energy. So I'm really happy for those guys because, you know, they're good dudes. They frustrate me. My children frustrate me, man. It's part of life. But they're good dudes and their heart's in the right place. And they've tried to manage a really difficult year and stood up really tall today. And I'm really proud of them for that.
All right, guys, a couple more. Dick?
Frank, Georgia physically could not match up with you today. How satisfying is it to you to have a game today where you physically dominated and were aggressive and looked like a Frank Martin team again today? That's
the one thing, again, that's bothered me the most for the last month is that we haven't played with that personality. We played whoever we played the first game, Liberty. We didn't play with that. And then we came back the next game against Tulsa and we controlled the game from that physicality. Then we went to Houston and we controlled the game with that physicality against one of the most physical teams in the country for the first 25, 27 minutes of the game. And then we kind of came apart at the seams, and then we got shut down. And then we, and now, Dick, here's the other problem. That physicality is created in November and December. And we're trying to create it while preparing to play league games. So now some of the stuff that I usually do in practice, which is not barbaric or prehistoric, but some of the drills that we do and some of the things that we demand, we just spent 7 weeks without working out. So they're not in great shape. And now I'm going to practice them for 2.5, 240 and do all those taxing things. We got no chance to win. And for me, I see my team play with that spirit. There was a play in the first half, right when we were creating that separation, where it was loose ball, and then their guy was going after loose ball in the corner, and I don't know how Keyshawn came up with the ball. He kind of dove over the guy, beat him to the ball, and then we threw it, and we made a layup on the other side. Those plays give your team life, man, and we've been missing that. No surprise, and all of a sudden our jump shot goes in today. It's funny how that works.
All right, guys, 2 more. Joe, and then the last question will be for John. Go ahead, Joe.
Coach, I'm just curious on your thoughts about Minot, his development, and I thought he had a very strong impact today in the beginning of the game to help set that tone inside. You referenced just how has he developed in the short time he's been with you guys and his impact today?
It gives us a presence at the rim. I mean, he blocks shots. When you pass it to him, he catches it. He don't trip on his feet. They called him for an offensive foul on one play. It's going to happen, but when's the last time you saw us post up and somebody throw it in there? Our players have confidence in him that he knows what he's doing in there. He's practiced with us for a month now. Just like everybody else. He showed up on January the 6th. He didn't get to practice till January 16th. But his challenge right now is he's got to get in shape. He's in better shape than he was 6 weeks ago, but he's still not like playing Georgia, which is a track team, which makes him change ends of the court, made it really hard. And then when Georgia was playing the 5 guards, not 5 guards, but PJ Horn at center, who's a 3-point shooter, we were zone, and it made it really hard. Georgia got a feel for what we were doing. It made it hard for him to cover the corner. So then I took him out, but then the other guys played so well, I just ran with them. So we got contributions from, I've been really frustrated with Wildens. He actually scored today at the rim in the second half. Jermaine, Trey Hansbrough, Jalen didn't play well early. Then he played really well defensively in that second half. And, everyone contributed, but Trayvon gave us that personality early in the game.
Last question to John.
Frank, given how much respect you have for this league and every team in it, what does it say to be able to beat a program like Georgia for 10 straight games, a streak that's stretched 5 years now, 5 seasons?
Yeah, maybe some people in Columbia won't tell me that in 2016 we couldn't beat Georgia, because I've heard that over and over, that we lost them 3 times that year. The part that nobody ever wants to say is that 3 losses. Michael Carrera tore his groin in the first half of the home game, and then he didn't play in the conference tournament. And he was our all-league player. He was our best player. We didn't get it done that year. But I'm not going to sit here and brag about beating somebody 10 times, because it's hard to beat somebody 1 time. And, we're just fortunate, man. We're fortunate, but, our approach has always been 1 day at a time, 1 day at a time. And listen, I'm going to throw another football analogy at you guys, all right? I grew up across the street from the Orange Bowl watching the Dolphins. In the 70s, the Dolphins never lost to the Patriots, never lost to the Jets, never lost to the Bills. All right. The next time the Dolphins beat those teams in 1 year will be the first in like 20 years. So this thing can flip on you any second.
Thanks, Frank.
Thanks, everybody.